it's fun because no matter what happens, one, we can edit it all out
No
and
doubt.
fix it, right?
No doubt.
And two, it's just, we're quilters,
Yes.
right? Okay. So welcome back to another Making It Fun interview. I'm Rob Appel, and this guest is named Amanda. I just met her a moment ago, and I want to learn all about what she does. So Amanda, tell us more.
Well, I'm a long armor.
Sorry, which one? Arm, which is your longest arm?
Right.
Okay. I was afraid that would be the case. I meet a lot of left-handed quilters in the creative world, but a lot of long-armed, right-handed folks.
Left brain, right arm, you know.
I get it.
But no, I'm a long armor, and I've just kind of got into the business. I started with a t-shirt quilt that I just made for my husband's workmate. He lost his wife, and we had quilting to talk about, and I just felt like a quilt was, a hug, from the group.
She just goes right there, right to the point, straight up. I just love it because that's what a quilt is a hug, right?
Yes. Yeah, that lasts forever.
So did I just hear this correct? Your first quilt you made as a gift for somebody else.
Yes.
To help them through a troubled time.
And it started, people were asking, do you do this? And I said, well, I can.
Right.
The long armor that I eventually mentored under, because she, told me what she does and, how far booked she was out. And so I started to do research. And as an entrepreneur, I research, it's kind of the fun of it too.
Knowing what the cost will be before, yes, wise.
And a lot of people in my area are retiring or they only do their own projects. So I said, I really think I have a place in this market. And who wouldn't want to quilt all day and see everybody else's,
But can I stop you there? Because it's probably not as easy as you just made it sound.
Well, it is. It's a business. And yeah, you do have to.
And there is do what you love and love what you do.
Yeah.
Right.
And you don't work a day in your life. So.
But you also probably are always thinking about what the machine could be doing next downstairs or upstairs.
Yes. Yeah. There is a lot of features on. I have an Innova that I got from Hunter's Quilt Market, just out of town here.
So that's a local dealer for the Innova in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We need to promote all of our local shops, all of our local dealerships. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Hunter's Quilt Mart.
Okay.
They just rebranded. So, but yeah, I got it from them, and it's computer guided. So, I have any. I have footballs and helmets. I have forks and spoons. I have floral designs just at my fingertips because I said, gosh, if you want a payment in 30 days, I should be able to produce in 30 days.
Right.
So the fact that the machine is computer guided, I can turn around and continue to do the t-shirt quilting, the memory quilting, the memory animals, the memory pillows that kind of started the whole thing.
So your whole business model is focused now on helping create memory-related products.
And that's my keeping memories alive is my tagline.
Got it. So then are you doing more than just the long arming then, it sounds like? Or are you creating patterns for folks to follow with your t-shirt design? Tell us more about what you like to do.
Yeah, I do teach. I'm in my basement as of today.
Right.
Now, as of Sunday, I'll be moving into a retail space. So transitioning, into something even bigger.
Will you have equipment at home and at the retail space, or just the retail space?
Probably a little bit of both, because but I do like the separation of home and
quilting in your jammies. It's okay, Amanda. You can say quilting in your jammies.
I can lock the door and still quilt my jammies.
You don't have an all glass storefront. She's like, oh, there's Amanda quilting in her jammies. I see.
Working late, I see.
Right.
But eventually teaching classes at the rec, our community rec currently, and then I'll get into more. And the thing about patterns, I don't want people to be bound by a pattern. I want them to see something and say, you know what, I can figure that out. Or just stitch a bunch of stuff together, cut it into a block and make it wabi-sabi. I don't want people to be bound by rules, I guess.
When I got into quilting, there were a lot of rules. We make the joke about the quilt police, and I've been given, you can walk in if you need, I've been given several misdemeanors in my life. But at the same point, I also it's a creative process. And I understand there's a heritage. I understand there's a tradition. I do not want to get in front of anybody's concept. You come on through, Mike, it's fine. Oh my gosh, you're going to walk in front of the camera all day long like that? I mean, yeah, because that was actually, Amanda, what I was just going to tell you about. Do you have fabric in your shop, or is this just all about, are you going to get fabric in the shop?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And will you be teaching classes in-house too?
Yes. Yeah. I want people to walk in and see the shop and immediately be inspired to do that or to learn. I want to basically educate my future customers.
Right.
So kids classes, nights out with so-and-so where we, do a little sip and sew, but
Sure.
all those things to get people excited about quilting, about sewing in general, and be inspired as I was, with a lot of these just amazing, colorful fabrics and designs.
There's so many things I want to ask you. Gosh, what when you get excited about teaching, I mean, for me, it's the fact that there's so much for everybody involved.
Oh, yeah.
With your business model, will you be focused on any genres? Or, I mean, I guess my brain stalled out because I have kids, they're teenagers now,
Yeah.
but we're always looking for things as a collective we can do with kids.
Yes.
So, I mean, is that one of the things that you'll spend a lot of time on, I'm hoping? I'm kind of nudge, wink, wink.
All ages. I mean, I've got a couple classes this summer through the rec. One is, the Ugly Dolls movie, which is kind of funny that it's coming out. But I want them to just draw a shape in, fleece. And then we're going to put some buttons on, we're going to embellish it, and then we'll blanket sew it together. So it's all done by hand.
Right.
And they can put what they drew into something that they can use to kind of build that confidence to say, you know what, you can take it from this to this. And then another class, being a t-shirt quilter, I have lots of scraps. So we're going to make
No other quilter has scraps, by the way. Only the t-shirt quilters. If you were concerned about getting into quilting because you were afraid you would have a stash, no. Just don't work with t-shirts.
Yeah. But to do a shag t-shirt rug,
Right.
or they can just weave it through and not make a shag. So stuff like that to reuse, reduce, recycle. Something that they may be able to do with their own t-shirts and things like that. So I want to bring all ages into the mix, and like I said, just build confidence.
Nice. Okay, so I want to ask you to pull from the mystery box of questions. You saw this was going to happen because you were watching over there.
Yes.
But I know there's one question in here I really want you to pull out of here.
Okay.
So may I reserve the right to pull a second question for you? Okay, I appreciate your candidness, Amanda. Okay, pull your question, if you will. And do you want me to read it? I'll let you read it.
Okay, what would your perfect murder weapon be and why?
By the way, not the question I was hoping she would pull.
Let's see. Well, it'd have to be something conspicuous. And sometimes
Because you're into blood and gore, you just want to see it happen kind of thing?
Yeah. Sometimes when my fabric scissors are used for, opening a plastic package, they don't see that coming.
See, that's a perfect segue right there. And Kathy pulled the question of what would you do? You would use the fabric scissors to be the murder weapon.
Murder weapon.
To the person who just used them in a non-fabric related way.
Yes.
And that is a perfect question to answer because Kathy's question, which was the last interview, was, what do you do if somebody uses your non-fabric scissors? She's like, I don't care. I'm a rule breaker. Yeah. So the question I wanted to ask you, because I was interested in your feedback, was the applique, machine or hand question.
Yes.
But remember, she is a t-shirt quilter, so this is a loaded question.
So what would the question be?
Do you prefer when doing applique, machine or hand? And I'm doing a follow-up after that. So I've reserved the right for all kinds of follow-up questions, actually.
Yes. Okay, hand is out of the question. I don't hand sew. I think I'm too busy for that stuff. The cross stitch, and I still have those projects unfinished. Right. Maybe later in life I'll be able to sit and do tiny stitches. The machine piecing, and honestly, and this is the thing I love about quilting, is that you can make a project as complicated or as turn around as you want to.
Right.
If you've got time for this, then sit down and,
Right.
take advantage of that. So I think, if you have a lot of time, you want some odd shapes, you can applique.
Sure.
The machine piecing, I find joy in that too.
Sure.
Because you're building and, constructing.
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
you would know about that.
Yeah, and the reason I was asking is, unfortunately, I did make my first T-shirt quilt as a memory quilt. I'd made other T-shirt quilts as lessons,
Yes.
but not as a memory quilt. The young man who passed away had drawn this really neat graphic of a whale, and I'm going to get all choked up talking about it because quilting is therapy. I wanted to applique this image using his T-shirts, and so I found by using the Heat and Bond Feather Light, I could get the raw edge applique together long enough that I could then come back and machine stitch them all together. And I quilt over the family who had lost their son. And again, I'm going to break up talking about it. It was a soft, pliable, warm, loving quilt that we could heal underneath, but it still of the raw edge applique and all of that kind of stuff going, if you know what I'm saying. So it was really killer that way. So that's why I wanted to ask you that question, to find out if you had been working with applique as a T-shirt quilter.
I did do, there was one where the gentleman had, it was not a fishing club, but an aquarium club in Colorado. And he had all these shirts that he really wanted square, square, square. And then, so I'm starstruck.
Yeah, right. Right. It happens to all of us.
But yeah, so I appliqued the pocket patches, I call it, or the pocket graphic in between each of the squares. Like
what a great idea.
All 9 or 12 of them. So we just had those 9 in the middle, and it just really did finish it out. So, use whatever you can do. And I did have a mother do that. She took all of her kids' baby clothes and sewed them together, and then she did like a dragonfly shape and appliqued it. Those turned out, there's 3 of them, those turned out so perfect. And it's an emotional journey, and everybody's journey, is their own, and it's just beautiful. It really is very beautiful.
Amanda, thank you for being a quilter, and thank you for saying such wonderful things about quilting and it being a journey. I couldn't agree more.
Well, I tell you what, any of my people that say, oh, there's no way, binding, I have no idea how to do it. I say, here's a construction worker that shows you exactly how to do it, the binding tool and everything. So you've made my life, a little easier too. Because
How about a hug?
Love it.
Awesome.